It was a fantastic day on the island of Sodor, and Skarloey was taking Wilhelmina back to the yards. But after when he took Wilhelmina back to the yards, a new narrow gauge engine had already arrived on the island of Sodor, and he wanted to say hello. But while he was waiting, Skarloey was just in time to see the new engine when the Fat Controller said this to Skarloey. "Skarloey," he said, "meet Bert." "Hello," said Bert. "Hello," said Skarloey. It was nice for them to meet one another when the Fat Controller said this to Bert. "Bert," he said, "collect your coaches, because you and your driver are about to have a fun playtime on your branch line," he said. "Yes, sir," said Bert, and Bert steamed away. And Skarloey felt really impressed with the new engine. He was very friendly. Meanwhile, Bert arrived at the yards while he was searching for his coaches when he saw Wilhelmina. His driver said this to Bert. "This isn't the sort of your coach," he said, "but I suppose she will do." But Wilhelmina was cross. "How dare he says I'll do? How dare he says I do?" She said. Bert was coupled up, and he steamed away with Wilhelmina. While Wilhelmina was saying this while Wilhelmina was moaning too many times, she said this to Bert about 1,000,000 times. "How dare he says I'll do? How dare he says I'll do?" she said. There was Bert pulling Wilhelmina when Skarloey saw Bert with Wilhelmina. "Hello, Skarloey," said Bert, and so Skarloey was cross. "That's my coach," he said. "Give it back." But Bert didn't hear Skarloey. But the only thing what's making him sad was Mavis not being friendly to him. So wasn't Bash as well. And this made Bert really sad, and he didn't know and he can't even know why they were being so unfriendly. Later, Skarloey told the Fat Controller about Bert pulling Wilhelmina when the Fat Controller said this to Skarloey. "I want you to collect new coaches from the docks," he said. "New coaches?" said Skarloey. "But sir—" "Really useful engines, don't argue," he said. But Skarloey didn't want new coaches. He wanted Wilhelmina back. At the yards, Edward saw Bert with Wilhelmina when he said this to him. This is Skarloey's coach," he said. "And that's why he was so cross," said Bert. "I'll go and apologize," and he steamed away. And there was Skarloey with the new coaches. "I don't want new coaches, don't want new coaches," he said while he was steaming on the track. Later, Bert was searching for Skarloey when his driver stopped Bert. Because Bert didn't know that his driver saw a man waving a red flag, and then the man who waved his red flag to stop Bert said this to his driver. "Edward has broken down at the point," he said, and I want Bert to give him a good shove," he said. "Fine by me," said Bert's driver. All what Bert could see that Edward was stuck at the point, and then he knew this could be so dangerous. Peep, peep, when Bert and Edward heard a whistle. "Oh no," said Edward, but Bert knew that was it. he saw Skarloey on his line and pushed him out of the way just in time. "Phew," said Edward. "I know," said Bert, and they were all safe. Later, the Fat Controller was happy with the 3 engines when he said this to Bert. "You have been a very good engine," he said. "And a brave one too," said Edward. "That was for sure." And he said this to Bert. You have done a very good job saving Edward from Skarloey's doom. Now I brought you 2 new coaches for your new branch line," he said. When Bert said this to Skarloey. "Skarloey," he said, "I'm sorry I took Wilhelmina away while you were feeling cross with me being with her," he said. "And I'm sorry I was cross," said Skarloey. And they were all friends, and this made the Fat Controller very happy. And Bert has finally got a new branch line, 2 new coaches, and new friends, and a new railway. That is why he is a very good engine. That is why he is a very good engine, in which really made Edward really, in which what made Edward really proud about how Bert saved him from Skarloey. And now Skarloey didn't mean this. It was because he did this while he was angry, because of his new coaches.